Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to From the Depths. Once again, thank you for your suggestions and commentary so far. Especially on the APS turret, it's something that I'm going to adjust a bit more, because apparently the Sabo rounds, well, they're decent, but not necessarily ideal for all situations. So what I'm going to do is build, as British Knight suggested, a second ammo controller, and make sure that that one fires heat shells. I'm going to have probably half the barrels firing Sabo, and the other part, so the second, let's say the port side turret, or the port side gun piece, that one's going to be firing the heat shells. So let's build on top of the turret again, and build an ammo controller for the advanced cannons. That's over here. I hope that thing is going to fit right on top of the first one. And it seems like, yeah, it kind of is. And then we're going to have 2 double customizer mods. I'm going to say 4 gunpowder casings, a couple of HE bodies. No, that's an altitude. HE warhead, followed with a heat nose. HE head, no. Squash head, no. Where's the heat nose? Heat warhead. Am I missing something here? EMP, disruptor, squash head, heavy head, armor piercing, flak, HE, shaped charge. Uses immediately connected explosive warheads to blast a stream of superheated armor piercing copper into the target. That's heat. Alright, so that's going to be the nose. And these are 118mm turrets. Effective time 6.8 seconds. Barrel length for full propellant burns 2.7 meters. I'm going to make it a bit more than that, because I have found that they're not terribly accurate, which I really would like them to be. So this one is going to be the shaped head. And then these ones, they're going to stick with the Sabo. For this one, I'm going to force reload. And that means that I'm only going to have 1 APS for now. And the other one's not going to be that useful. So this one's still going to be firing. It should still have ammunition. This one is currently loading. 17 out of 136 shells available versus 136 out of 136. Now, as was also suggested, get rid of the ammo ejectors, because these things are not very useful. Especially since most of these things, well, were firing warheads which didn't even have a high explosive. Now they do. They will have some high explosive charge on one. But, as was pointed out, the torpedo launcher / missile launcher that I have up ahead is arguably a bit more of a risk. So I'm going to get rid of these as such. And now to fill them up with something else. Hold on, is there still space in this turret? Jeez, it's hard to see. Let's go to F3. So I can look around a little easier. Yeah, see, there's still a bit of room here. On there, I could also put a few autoloaders. Those are belt feds. No, I'm going to go for standard autoloaders. Let's see, if I put one like that... Oh, you know, it's going to be quite tricky to put both the ammo clips on and a feeder. Yeah, I'm going to have one here with an ammo clip. And then a ammo input. 1, 2, that's probably not enough space. So what I could do is just go with an additional slot for the ammo, an additional ammo clip, and then an ammo input, like that. This one, not connected. Oh crap, I put it on wrong. Jeez, it's really hard to see. Where is my turret? Hello? The cooling vents. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, I put them on sideways. So, autoloaders, ammo clip, connected, connected. Now the input feeder. Alright, the port side, was going to be using the new shell. So I can just once again enforce this behavior. Ammo intake. Sorry, that's the Sabo. Port side Sabo. Starboard side is using the shaped head. Yes. Force assign. Alright, what do we still have that's currently problematic? Well, we have something out over there in the distance. Not even too far away. This is the Weaver. It's been seriously damaged by the looks of it. I believe that was the one that I was shooting at before. And I think this could be a decent target to work my torpedoes on. So let's go back to the hull editing. And go back to the keyboard editor. I'm going to get rid of the torpedo launchers as they are right now, because they're sticking out of the deck so much that one good hit could explode these things right in my face, which would be a pretty bad development for the whole ship. I want these things completely away. There we go. I'm going to redo the whole missile launcher. Not the first time. Definitely not the last. And yeah, that connector needs to go. It's going to remove everything. And then I'm thinking of having a couple of bow-mounted torpedo tubes, which are just spewing torpedoes at the front, potentially with a one-turn, so that they can still turn towards a target. So remove this block and remove that block. That's going to flood the bow section, at least temporarily. Time to go back to the missile systems. I really am curious to see if I could fit a large missile launcher. Holy shit. How big is a launch door for that? Huge. That's a 2x2 hatch. Yeah. Probably not ideal for what I have right here. So back to the medium hatched gantry. Or is an aerodynamic hatch better? Can't connect to rail gantries. Yeah, makes sense. So that one would go here. And then follow that up with a couple of medium gantries. I don't know exactly if these things are going to be capable of keeping the water out. Apparently they are, as the bow suddenly lifted back out of the water. So that's not a problem. That can be done. That's excellent, because then I can also do the same thing here. I can have another one of those hatches. And I can once again use a gantry, going back. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 actually. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now to connect all these things, using connectors. Oh, and launch pads might also be a useful thing here. Medium missile launcher. Launcher. Connector. Like that. And then we're going to go sideways. They're all connected now. Good. I want a IFF. I want a missile controller. I can turn the mirror mode off now. There we go. They're all connected. And then a staggered fire add-on, which is going to take a second between launches. Now, as for the torpedoes themselves, as I have been told, it's not necessarily useful to go with a torpedo that is very long running. It's actually more useful to have a torpedo that is just very quick and does a ton of damage. So in order to do that, I'll not need all of these fuel tanks. I just need a ballast tank, maybe a one-turn, so that the weapon system can actually use them to target whatever it is that I want to target. 1 turn. I have a fuel tank, which is going to allow this thing a thrust duration of 246 seconds. Holy shit. Oh, that's because I have all these other fuel tanks. Yeah, right. Warheads. Explosive. My running time should start decreasing momentarily. I don't know if this many explosive warheads is even useful. It might, I suppose. Let's see. Water thrust duration is 106 seconds. But my lifetime is only 40 seconds. So we're going to speed that thing up. Do I still have an extra fuel tank somewhere? I have 1 fuel tank. Even at maximum thrust? They can't do it? Oh, right. It's because it's probably a really heavy missile. A really, well, a really heavy torpedo at that. Okay. That makes sense, I suppose. It just cannot be any faster than this. Unless I make it smaller, in which case it'll be faster, but it won't do as much damage. Time to reload, 31 seconds. Okay, that's fine. Now, I don't quite like that there's a mismatch between the lifetime and the thrust duration, but so be it. We'll just have to make do with that. Copy to all matching launch pads. Then, going for an AI controller, weapon controller. That's going to control the missile block here. It's going to have a wireless receiver on it. And this thing can only target stuff that is not flying. So let's say 5 meters above surface. Done. Oh, there's one more thing that I would like on these torps. And that is, where was it? Utility? A magnet. Will be attracted to the center of mass of nearby vehicles, metallic or not. Copy to all launch pads. Magnet range is 100 meters. I'd say that's fine. Yeah, this should be fine. Now, I'm currently manually controlling all of these. I want to stop doing that. But first I want to ensure that I still have all of my water tightness. So block there and here. And of course I now still have some more room to put on more stuff on the bow. Now this weapon system, I want to fire it once manually. Are you... No weapon controlled? What do you mean? How is there no weapon controlled? Oh, because I put the missile, the firing computer over here. Yeah, that would do it. So that was the staggered fire add-on. I need to put the missile system back on that does the IFF. And then I need to put the controller on. And then the AI. Local weapon controller, receiver. And this thing, as was mentioned, only 10 meters altitude. Range, say 4,000. I'm not sure if they can get out that far. I don't exactly know if your missile will tell you how far it's going to reach. Oh, it's already launching, by the way. First torpedo away, probably against that target out there. That would be my bet anyway. And, well, I guess we can do some combat now. I still have a ton of resources. So I'm going to hand off control to the AI. And I do want to set this... Where's the controller here? Here. It can only fire... Where was it? No, that's the local weapon controller. It's this thing. APS. Idle angle is fine. Oh, where was it? You can tell it to only fire when it has a certain here. Before fire, 1 degree. No, I'm going to set that to 0.5 degrees. And the same thing here. Required degrees of accuracy, 0.5. Off you go. Alright. Which way do I need to go before I run into something big and dangerous? There were still some resources to be picked up here. Geesh. 638k. Resources there, 827. Nothing here. I'm not sure how close I want to get to that other craft that's currently getting relatively close. That one, the Weaver. Now, I don't really want to go through a gate just yet. I just want to farm some more stuff. So let's just put it back to 1 times speed. Go back to the bridge. Increase speed. And let's have the weapon systems do their thing. Including the 40mm. My AI is turned on. It sounds an awful lot like the torpedoes are going off again. Yeah, the torpedoes are heading that way. We have 4 torpedoes in the water against the target over here. Which, if we can kill it... Of course, taking it over is even better. But if I can kill it, there's a lot of resources to be had there. Which would further increase my resource pile. And which I can then use to make the ship even bigger. Now, I don't quite understand why my turrets aren't firing. Here come the torpedoes. This time around I cannot track them because I wasn't the one that... Oh, they're out of range. They cannot travel that far. Right. I do have another set of torpedoes back there. And these two are pretty volatile if they explode. So what I want to have on here on the back... I know I said I was going to do combat, but then I recognized, or rather realized again, that I still have a fairly weak system here. Let's just remove this whole thing. And see if there's enough room inside the deck. There should be. To build a turret. Now, what I want to try and do, and again, feedback appreciated, is to build an APS turret that functions as a minigun. That's capable, a sort of CIWS cannon, if you will. Close-in weapon system, engages threats, and makes sure that nothing gets through. Missiles and, what you call them? Missiles and APS shells, cram shells, stuff like that. I haven't done one of these in a long time. So I could be wrong. Oh, right, and I still wanted to put more barrels in the other one. Barrel. No shell loaded. Correct. Gauge cooler. Pointed down. Do I already want to split it? Yeah, I suppose I can. Gauge corner. I can now engage the mirror mode again. I don't think I need that many gauge increasers here. Because what I'm going for is a 30mm CIWS. Currently it is 293mm. Let's change that. Number of barrels. Yes. 6 barrel. 88mm already. Okay, that's a bit more than I was expecting. Time to add a cooling unit instead then. And that's going to put this thing at 54mm. It's still quite big. How about now? Now it's 18mm. That's a bit small-ish. What if I go for some slightly more barrels? Or sorry, slightly fewer? 5 barrels. 21. I guess I'm going to have to put on at least 1 gauge increaser here. And then go back to having more barrels. So APS, number of barrels, yes. And I can still manually reduce it and say this is supposed to be 30mm. Barrel distance is something I don't quite like, the barrel spacing. I want to get those closer together. Like that. Oh, crap. And it's supposed to, of course, have a mantlet on it. An AA mantlet. Not like that. Like that. And then the barrels. Barrels, 4 meter. There we go. 4 meter barrels. Right. On the bottom side of the turret, I'll build the weapon system. The shell system. So this is going to be the shell customizer. A couple of modules. This one is going to have quite a lot of gunpowder casings, maybe more so than the other. Then, I suppose a flak warhead, because I wanted to build a flak cannon. And then shell nose, flak head. Millimeter is only 30. There. Barrel length for 0.3 base accuracy is 0.6 meter. Yeah, they're 0.6 meters. For full propellant burn is 1.6, but I have even more than that. It's a 240 millimeter shell, 1 meter shell rack required. Effective range only 900 meters. Oh. If I want to increase that, I'm going to have to go for a 60 millimeter shell for 1.8 kilometers. That might be a little better. That might be a little better. So, we're going to up the shell type to have 0.6. So I can just say 60 here. And I probably, whoops, I probably won't be able to do that. Because I don't have enough, as is. Yeah, it's 54. So I'd need to increase that again using another gauge increaser. Here. 60 millimeters. 4 gauge increasers available. Right. Cooling units galore. Because this thing is probably going to be a bit warm. Splitter. Cooling units again. Let's make that a cooling splitter like this. Cooling unit. Faster I can cool the barrels down, the better it is. And another... Oh, that's a gauge cooler increaser. No. Cooling splitter. Cooling unit. Now, I'm going to try and put another container somewhere back here. Just... Oh, crap, this thing isn't connected. Yeah, oh, crap. I'm trying to build on a turret. It's the wrong side. Here we are somewhere. That's the hardstone. That's the entirety of the bow. Hold on, all the way back. Back. Here. This one was not connected. And most of those robots can be fit pretty much anywhere but here. I don't need them here. The RTGs can be moved. So first I'm going to have the large resource containers here. And then I can remove them from here so that the turret has a bit more room to spin. That's my thinking. I can use a bit more of the deck space here below decks to ensure that I can add loaders and such. Alright, back to the turret. Yep, mirrored. That is the turret that I'm looking at, right? Yes. Another cooler here. Or actually, no. Let's start adding a couple of autoloaders first. Maybe belt-fed autoloaders in this case would be better. Because I want to fire a whole lot of flak shells as quickly as possible. Let's see, how many of these can I fit? And where do the shells go? That's where the shells go. Okay. 1 millimeter clips, or sorry, 1 meter clips. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Nope. I could probably make even more, but I'm not sure if that's beneficial. Now let's put on the loaders. And again, UAD veterans, sorry, not UAD, FTD veterans, if you guys have any suggestions, I am all ears. I'm very interested in learning more, and I feel like I am increasing my skill every time. Through mistakes that are made, I'll definitely grant you that. But I'm trying to do the best I can. No shell loaded. No, you'd be correct. But those are coming up. Now, what do we have? We have an autoloader limit of 544 rounds a minute, an ammo intake limit of 999, a cooling limit of 499 rounds a minute, and a barrel cooldown of 0.72. So I can fire about 500 rounds a minute. So if I want to make sure it goes faster, I should add more more coolers. Which might also then open up the way to having even more loaders. How about now? Cooling limit 600 rounds a minute. So that's 10 rounds per second. That's quite good, I think. Make sure there's another cooler splitter here again. And down. Whoops. And cooling again. Cooling intake, 700 rounds a minute. Ammo loader, auto loader limit 544. So, once again, a couple of belt feds. Want to, can I even attach here? They can. Oh, that's perfect. And then a few clips. One more here and here. I hope the whole thing is still willing to spin. I did clear out as much space around it as possible, but I just hope it's enough. And I might even add more. Let's see. Autoloader limit 908 rounds a minute. So now my cooling is once again a problem. That can be fixed pretty easily. Because I can just keep adding more of these things. Autoloader limit 908. Ammo intake 1500. 1600. So yeah, it's not the ammo intake. I can take in ammo fast enough, but it's the autoloaders that are not able to transfer it from the clip to the barrel fast enough. So another belt-fed autoloader. And another ammo clip. Although, actually, it was the cooling that was the issue here. But I can still expand the other way with more coolers. So right now, 1,000 rounds a minute with the autoloader limit. Ammo inputs. Here, here. Here, here, and on the bottom. And I can do that for this, yeah, these two as well. Force assign all. Status. Autoloader limit, 1,089 rounds a minute. My cooling, however, is 300 rounds a minute lower than that. So time to install some more coolers again. We're going to go back up. Cooling unit. 772. Cooling splitter. And back down again. We're now at a cooling of 900 rounds a minute. Now we're at 977. I'm aiming for 1,000 rounds a minute with this thing. And I have now reached it. 1,046 rounds a minute. That is pretty substantial, I think. Is it enough? I don't know. We're about to find out. I'm going to assign it to weapon slot 1. On which I have 1 weapon. Okay. Just need to set up the turret part as well. This thing. Slot 1. There we go. The gun's probably still reloading, and it might take me a while to get it actually reloaded. Shells available, 384 out of 1,432. Shell speed, 700 meters per second. Inaccuracy, 0.19 degrees. Yeah, it should be a decent weapon, I guess. Currently not controlled by the AI as intended. I just want to fire this thing manually a few times to see if it works. Because I intend to use this thing against missiles, but also cram shells and flying units. Out to a range of about 1,000... What was it? 1,018... sorry, it's 1,800 meters. Effective range... Yeah, 1810. 1810. Flak radius 14 meters. Alright, let's speed the game up a bit more. Ah, we're loaded. Okay. So that's the APS shell. But I'm not really seeing a whole host of firepower there yet. Yeah, they're definitely doing damage, alright. Just unlocked a challenge on Steam. What missile? What am I even blowing up here over the starboard? A coyote for a mere 11,000 resources. Oh, I need to add more ammunition loaders apparently. Or ammunition storages. This thing is getting blown apart. But what about the other guy over there? Oh, he's already low health. Maybe he got torpedoed. Maybe he got torpedoed. Yep, too badly damaged. Low health. This one, not so much. That's... I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so what I need to do is add more ammo barrels, because apparently I am not quite capable of loading my ammunition quickly enough. So let's put that in a relatively well protected compartment. Resources, ammunition, let's go for a 2x2. And put that over here. And another one over there. I have access to 900. Now I have access to 1,337. Alright, time to hand this thing off to the AI. And then I can probably wrap up the episode. Local weapon controller. I'm hoping that it can also control the turret block, so the rotation block from here. Why is there one pivot here? Whoa. Okay. Way zoomed in. Torpedoes are still being launched. Oh right, the torpedoes do need a bit of adjustment because they're not quite reaching the distance that I thought they would. What exactly that distance is going to be, I don't know, but apparently it's less than 4,000 meters. And again, I could probably just easily calculate this, but I'm not at that skill level yet. Anyway, onto the turrets. This is my main turret, this is my anti-air turret. My minigun, if you want to call it that. Alright, listen up. Your range, your effective range, is only 1,750 meters. Altitude? Basically anything that is above sea level. And I really would appreciate it if you don't accidentally, or not so accidentally, blow my own ship apart. Wireless receiver. Here we go. Can you control the whole turret if I leave you to it? Maybe not. Look at that. These flak shells are doing quite well, aren't they? $29,000 damage, 30, 35. 45. It's definitely taking damage, but it still seemed to be firing some return fire at me. That is unwanted. How much ammunition does this thing still have available? Still 732 rounds. That's quite good. Let's zoom in a little. Look at that. Boom. Low health, 2 damaged, dead. And that is 3,000 resources. Okay, I'll take that. Thank you very much. Right, so now still to have to hand it off to the AI. Because I don't want to be, well, as much fun as it is, I don't want to be constantly controlling it. Yeah, it's not controlling a weapon. So you cannot be there. You're going to have to be here. Is this the right turret even? Yeah, it is. Okay, good. So, local web controller onto the deck. Here. Failsafe. And a wireless receiver. It's just that those cooling things on the ground might be a problem. No, they're not. Okay. So it's tracking something. Not just that. But here's the problem. It's still thinking that it can hit targets at the 5,000 meter range, which it really can't. And now it's quiet, because there's nothing within 1,750 meters. Alright, final part. Make sure that this thing's armored up. Because if this thing goes, it'll be a lot of resources that are wasted, and a lot of time that was wasted as well. And of course, time is also a resource. So, I'm gonna armor up the turret, and in the next episode, continuing with this battle mode, adventure mode. Thank you guys for suggestions, thank you for recommendations. I'm trying to incorporate as much as I can fit. For the next episode, I'm gonna focus a bit more on defense, so that this thing can also work together with intercepting missiles, or at least such is my hope. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you can, donate on Patreon, because you'd really help me out with that. And I'll see you soon for the next episode.